I'm not ready to do that. I'm not, because California was that way for some time. Joe
It
Mixon,
still
Brennan
kind of
Clay.
is.
I mean, no, it really no. Until Caleb Kelly proves that he can play, and he hasn't. No, Grant Calcaterra had to medically retire. He was good, right? That was a good get.
Ramondre Stevenson,
Still is suspended.
Buki,
Hasn't done what the rest of y'all think he should do. I think he's been fine. But if you're going to actually start
Bruce
looking at
Samia.
California, you're gonna have to tell me which one of those kids is a keeper. Which one of those kids are you building around right now as we speak? Because Justin Harrington is being brought in to usurp Buki, according to everybody else. Caleb Kelly has been hit or miss, and that's when he's healthy. I mean, Parnell Motley, you got a point. Charles Tapper, when he was healthy and he could go, absolutely a monster. Joseph Wette, we'll wait and see, right? I think we all have great aspirations for them, but who don't we have great aspirations for? I mean, really, I'm ready to say Georgia is a place where I didn't expect that Oklahoma could go and
That's
win,
fair.
as
That's
opposed to
fair.
the DMV area, because up until recently, ain't been much to come out of the DMV. Really, the last 5 years is what you're talking about. Whereas with Georgia, OU used to not be able to go in there, and then Trey Sermon, right? And now Jaden Hazelwood. And both of those dudes were guys that you were building around, right? Both of those were absolute monsters. Brock Vandegrift was committed to the class. That was a big deal at the time, right? And you continue to look around.
Orlando Brown was from Georgia.
Well, and see, that was a jewel, right? That was a that was
Yeah.
a that was a rock that everybody thought was a
He
rock,
kind of
but it was a
started it
jewel.
all.
Ah, I'm not
In the last
sure.
5 years, he did. I
I,
think he's the one that started it all.
I'm not sure that I'm ready to say that the DMV is just a place where you go and win and you create a pipeline yet. That's all I'm saying. Let Caleb Williams get here. And then let Caleb Williams play, and then I will give you that. But until then, I
Well,
mean, what's the best player that OU's gotten out of the DC area? Motley?
Charles Tapper and Motley.
So you think Tapper's a better player than Motley was?
I mean, Tapper had a pretty good NFL career. I mean, he's
I
decent.
I
So
I'm asking you a straight question.
yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
think I think Tapper, that 2013 Tapper was nasty, dude. That guy was an animal.
Okay.
He was. He was one of the reasons why they were one of the better defenses in the country. So
Cool. But
yeah.
also, you
So
talk about Central Texas. I mean, Latrell Neville just went to Va-Tech. He's from Missouri City, Texas. I mean, that was a guy that at one point,
Missouri City's in Houston.
I get that. And that's a place that you're also saying that they were knocking down.
Right, but he didn't recruit. Oh, you stopped recruiting him for like months ago.
I
So
again, there's a 4-star wide receiver, a dude that we all believe can play, a guy that's going to show out at the next level. Whether or not Oklahoma decided he was worth going to get or not, we can keep arguing until whatever. But I'm saying I'm with the fans on this one. Show me the money. Show me the commitments. I don't want to hear about it because we heard about Kendall Milton all of last year, right? I mean, we heard about Jace McClellan for 2 years, and you had him
he was
committed.
committed.
Yeah, and you had him committed. So like, I'm kind of getting pissy about it because 12-2, 12-2, 12-2 has turned out to be 0-3. And at this time when you're saying it's really hard to get momentum, Colin, I get that. But I'm watching North Carolina sitting at number 4 in the rankings, and Ohio State opened up an 80-point lead on number 2. Like somebody's getting it done. Somebody's
Alabama's
pulling
worse
kids.
than okay. Time out. So there's plenty of other top-notch programs that are in worse shape than Oklahoma.
Alabama's got a
But
national championship in the last 5 years.
but we're talking about presently recruiting, and right now, presently in recruiting, Oklahoma still is doing a really good job keeping their name out there because of the social media aspect. In a time where a lot of other teams are, and when you're talking, you brought up North Carolina. North Carolina's doing exactly what Mac Brown did at Texas. Great, fantastic. Let them go out and recruit.
It's
Let's not
North
in that state.
Carolina.
He's locked down that state. That
It's
is
no,
what
he
he's
hasn't
done.
because he lost Evan Pryor to Ohio State.
Evan,
Evan Pryor's from North Carolina.
okay.
Will
Not the
Shipley. Will Shipley's from North Carolina too. While we're at it, he's got North Carolina on the list along with Clemson and Notre Dame and whatnot. I'm saying that I'm past giving passes on teams that ain't won national championships in 20 years. Ohio State They won what, 2014, and they were right there at the end in a way that frankly OU was not. I'm saying that Williams can change a lot of things for you, right? But it needs to happen. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not going to happen until after he gets to do. He has a plan about what he wants to
Sure.
do. He's deserved the right. He's deserved the right to do his plan.
Sure.
People need to relax.
I'm not on him
He's
saying that he.
recruiting behind. I can
I'm
tell
not.
you this much. He's recruiting, whether it's to Oklahoma or not. I'm not saying
that the man needs to make a decision before he wants to make a decision. I'm saying that around him, Riley doesn't have to necessarily wait. He can go get the defensive side of the ball. You know, whatever it takes. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. By the way, I'm going to go through. I clicked on the wrong thing. I wanted to go through North Carolina's commits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They only have one commit not from North Carolina. So when I say they're locking down that state, they're locking down that state. That state is a fertile state for recruiting. Oklahoma gets players from there every other year because it's so fertile, and it's a fantastic recruiting ground.
So is the state of Texas. You know,
I
like
understand that, but there's also 20 teams in the state of Texas.
You're treating North Carolina like it's the Belgium soccer team, and it's not.
I'm just telling you, the face of that state is the University of North Carolina, and
basketball. The University of North Carolina basketball.
I understand that, but they still, when he was
Duke basketball, like
Mac Brown made North Carolina really, really good before he left for Texas. He was doing the same thing then.
All right. We're getting bogged down. Let's get out of this. Colin, what are you thinking about the 2022 kiddos coming up? Because I saw Brandon had a note there about help me, Brandon. What's his kid's name? I'm gonna have to look it up now.
Raleek?
No, not Raleek. We talk a lot about Raleek. Gavin. Sawchuk. Yeah, Sawchuk. My goodness, it escaped me. And what does Quinn Ewers think about all of this? Because most people already have him pegged as the consensus number one quarterback in that class. But I wonder if Williams pulls the trigger, right, and OU gets the 21 kid that they want, how does that influence his decision, you think?
Yeah, that's been the biggest question that I've had to face. I know when I went out to the end zone 7-on-7 tournament down in Houston, I got asked that probably every 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, hey, if Williams goes OU, is yours going to go too? And I mean, look, the simple answer that you can provide is we don't really know. I mean, It's all in the head of a young man who has yet to make that decision. And it's not going to be a decision that's made for a while. But at the same time, I'm also a firm believer in the concept of competition and what that does to the quarterback position. I think that's a reason why Chandler Morris ended up going to Oklahoma. And the sense that I get from people down in Southlake, that's the same kind of concept that's applying to Quinn Ewers' situation. I mean, the kid is not afraid to join a room that features other high-profile talent. And that's the reason why you see so many experts putting in their favors for Oklahoma when it comes to Quinn Ewers, is because, yeah, he may be having to join Caleb Williams or whoever you want to list in Norman down the road if he chooses to commit. But at the same time, when you look at the other schools that are in on him, I mean, you don't think he's going to face the same kind of situation with maybe a Texas or an Alabama or what have you, Ohio State. I mean, I think the biggest thing that when you look at Quinn Ewers, when you see what he does on the field, you firmly believe, okay, whenever an opportunity presents itself, this guy's going to be a starting quarterback at the collegiate level, and he's probably an NFL draft pick one day. And so when you have that kind of talent, I don't think you shy away from that concept of competition. And so for me, if and when Caleb Williams makes the decision, and let's say it's in favor of Oklahoma, I don't know that initially it will delay any sort of favor that goes Oklahoma's direction for Quinn Ewers services. Now, how that pans out down the road, obviously we have yet to see. But the biggest thing for me is Quinn Ewers is going to make his decision based on what he can do, not who else is going to be there with him, if that makes sense.
I can tell you all that Quinn Ewers pretty much understands that the odds of Caleb Williams going to Oklahoma are really, really good. And I can kind of leave it at that. Y'all smell what I'm stepping in there. So And still people are putting in crystal balls for him. And this is the reason why, as I'm told, is Riley's kind of selling the Kyler Murray idea to him. And that is, you may only play 1 to 2 years at Oklahoma because there's people ahead of you. But guess what? The fact that you're going up against the best of the best all the time in practice, you're going to eventually be that good, potentially even better when it's your chance to shine. And all you need in my system, and I'm speaking as I'm Lincoln Riley right now, is 1 year. And I can make you a first-round number 1 pick. And he's been able to prove that. Look what he did with Jalen Hurts, who wasn't even going to be really picked in the top 6 rounds. He was maybe a 7th-round pick before he showed up at Oklahoma, and now people are throwing him in the 2nd round. I mean, this, and you have some people throwing him in the top 50 overall prospects and stuff like that. So it's gotten to the point where Riley's acumen to be able to transform quarterbacks into elite players, even at the next level, it's starting to become a trend more than it is anything else. And if you get Spencer Rattler to go on board with this as well, it's an easy sell. It's an easy sell for Lincoln Riley with Quinn Ewers. It just is, even if Caleb Williams was to commit to Oklahoma.
No, I think it's an easy pitch to put together. I don't think it's an easy sell because otherwise he'd get it done.
Right. He grew up in a Texas household though. I mean, let's make sure that Texas is a major player.
You just told me that Bryce Foster grew up in a Texas A&M household.
I understand that. Texas A&M's a major player there too, but it doesn't mean he's going to go to those schools.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that they're recruiting him. I mean, I talked to people from the Texas area, and even I talked to our Mike Roach, and he's very close to the Ewers family. So he flat out said that Texas is a player, but Oklahoma's a lead.
Okay, I want to have some fun. The last bit of this. Both of you. First, where's Jalen Hurts going to get drafted?
Ooh.
Pick a round, and then pick a team.
All right, I'll go
man,
first.
Okay.
I think for me, I think there are a lot of indicators, and I'm starting to buy the rumors that Jalen Hurts ends up as a Los Angeles Charger. Because the way you see that roster playing out and the way that the Chargers are so comfortable sticking with Tyrod Taylor at the quarterback position indicates to me that they're going to look at a young quarterback in the draft to groom under Tyrod Taylor and then eventually take over as kind of that new face once they transition to the LA market in that brand new stadium. And to me, there is a great kind of asset in Jalen Hurts' personality. I mean, he's a guy that obviously it's easy to rally around him. Fans love the guy. And bringing him to a market like that where it's so hard to get a fan base behind you, having someone like Jalen Hurts is going to help in the long run because he's someone that people relate to, people love hearing from, and they love watching him play because time and again he's become kind of that hero aspect of things. And so I think that in probably the 3rd round or 4th round, you're going to see the Chargers take a look at Jalen Hurts because he fits that offensive system. He's the ideal candidate to sit behind Tyrod Taylor without too much pressure to put him in. And then eventually he's going to be that personality that the city of Los Angeles can rally around once they're trying to find something to buy into when they move into that brand new stadium and all the hype's going to surround that franchise. And so for me, I think it just makes a ton of sense for him to end up in LA with the Chargers. And I think that's going to be what takes place once the draft rolls around.
This is Colin trying to tell you all that he doesn't want him to be a Cowboy.
Well, hell, I don't want him to be. I don't want him to be a Cowboy.
Go ahead and admit it, guys.
I don't want him to be a Cowboy.
Go ahead.
He and Jerry were on a FaceTime.
They
call,
were.
I'm good.
They had it on video.
I'm straight.
No, I really don't. Look, okay. I think it's going to be 3rd, late 2nd to 4th roundish probably will be where he gets drafted. And I know that's vague. It's just because so many people have started throwing him in the 2nd round, and I'm not sure I believe it. But when stuff like that starts to happen, you kind of have to agree with it, especially with the people that are saying it. Those people are pretty knowledgeable about what they're talking about. So it's just hard for us as OU people that covered Oklahoma to wrap our heads around this. But apparently he's done really well in everything that he's done, whether it be from workouts to all this stuff. So I'll go late 2nd to 4th. I don't think he gets out of the 4th round. I don't even think he gets out of the 3rd round, to be honest. But I think he fits the Patriots. We keep hearing him with the Patriots, and this is, I think, just his overall personality.
The Patriots were looking at James Morgan. They don't know what they want.
I know, but they've been throwing Jalen Hurts' name's been thrown out so many times for them lately that I'm actually starting to buy into it. And I buy into it because his personality fits Belichick. He doesn't talk. He just goes about it and does his football, and that's all he does. I mean, that's what he does. He's a football guy. He's a good guy, a football guy with a personality that is, he's a good guy. He's just not real outgoing. So that kind of fits everything you want in a Patriot guy, into their system, into their culture. So I'm kind of starting to buy in that they may be looking at somebody like him, just like they did. Jacoby Brissett was a guy that they really liked and went after and got him. And now he's turned out to be a pretty good quarterback. It seems like everybody that they draft turns out to be really good eventually.
Wait.
Wait.
Jacoby Brissett has turned out to be a pretty good quarterback.
He was all right.
Tell me who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts next year.
Rivers.
Okay. How old is Rivers?
Well,
damn near 40?
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
He's a Hall of Famer. There's a difference. He didn't have anybody around him. He wasn't great.
Fine.
You don't think Rivers is a Hall of Famer?
No!
Okay, well, I'm not arguing.
It's not the Hall of Very Good. It's the Hall of Fame. You know what? Eli gets to at least say he's got 2 Super Bowl rings. How many rings does Rivers have?
I'm not arguing.
Hey, you brought it up. You brought it up.
It wasn't a point to argue. It was just a point that
You can't tell me that Jacoby Brissett is a good quarterback if Phil Rivers could show up at 38 and take his job.
He's a Hall of Famer. He can take whatever he wants. So, and you can argue that he's not a Hall of Famer. Colin, is Rivers a Hall of Famer to you?
I don't know that right now. I think he's a gold jacket guy, but it really depends on what he can do with the Colts. Because again, the ups and downs of what he did with the Chargers to me can't be overlooked.
He threw 20 interceptions last year.
That's my thing. Is the stats would indicate the sharp contrast between, okay, you got a guy that threw for a ton of passing yards, but he's also a turnover machine, and he can't get the big wins when you need him. And so for me,
I agree with all that.
It's such a polarizing topic for a lot of NFL fans to debate. I would not say, though, right now he's a gold jacket guy.
I think he will get it. I think he eventually will get it. And that's why I say he's a Hall of Famer. I think it's going to be he's not a first ballot, but we're totally digressing here. The point being is that the Colts or the Patriots have drafted solid quarterbacks. I'm going to use the word solid instead of good to save argument. Solid quarterbacks behind Tom Brady that have ended up doing fairly well in the NFL when they left the Patriots. So I think this is another one of those where they feel like, depending on who they draft there, I think it might be Hurts. So I'm going to pick the Patriots. So just because he fits their culture, their personality of the team, all that.
All right. We'll leave it there then. Colin Kennedy, follow him on the Twitters at @CKennedy247. Follow Brandon on the Twitters at BrandonDrum247. I have deleted my Twitter account. Fellas, thanks so much. I enjoy talking with you. I enjoy talking ball with you. I enjoy getting argumentative with you because it's kind of what I do. Shout out to Jerry Jones, who's going to draft Jalen Hurts, number 17 overall in the first round of the draft, because that's what he does.
Yep, 50% off right now till it's Monday. So if we get to, I don't know when this is dropping, but it is 50% off all the way till midnight tonight on April the 6th. I said June. I wish it was June. We were out of this bull crap. April the 6th.
All right.
So join OU Insider.
Right on. Talk to you guys hopefully later this week.
All right, man.
Thanks, guys.